Chinese Communist Party spies are the #1 threat to French intelligence services. This is according to a former counselor of the current Minister of Foreign Affairs, Jean-Yves Le Drian, as reported in a new book released in France. The investigation points out the variety and the intensity by which the CCP attempts to steal technological and military information, as well as attempts to destabilize the country through cyber attacks. In a recent conference on Chinese influence in Europe, military think tank director Paul Charon agreed with this stance.
We can summarize our current situation as an asymmetry of knowledge. I mean, the Chinese have a much better knowledge of what our thinking is, our research is about, much more than we know theirs. This applies even more to strategical studies.
One example of Chinese espionage quoted by the authors occurred in Brest, which is a port used by France's ballistic missile submarines. The number of marriages between young Chinese girls and French military personnel are alarming to the French intelligence services, according to one co-author. The region has around 400 enterprises working for the French defense, and according to a high-ranking official quoted in the investigation, there's a real push for Chinese girls to approach the military personnel as well as engineer. This is one of the methods used by the CCP. According to a report released by military think tank IRSEM in October, the CCP has an elaborate policy to eliminate China's enemy, called the United Front. This is to, quote, eliminate internal and external enemies, controlling groups that could defy its authority, and constructing a coalition around the party to serve its interests. Another approach is the People's Liberation Army's use of active measures, a word from the Soviet era referring to the use of disinformation, counterfeiting, sabotage, destabilizing foreign governments, provocations, false flag operations, and manipulation aimed at weakening social cohesion. But according to Charon, who is a co-author of the report, there are many other means used by the CCP that interfere with and influence foreign countries.
There are daily reports in the Chinese People's Liberation Army, which I suggest for anyone who can to read it in Chinese. It is extremely extensive. There are a lot of concepts that delve deeper than the United Front or the Three Wars. I'm talking about concepts such as cognitive wars, discursive power, or active measures. There are a wide range of strategies that we don't think about in France and in Europe, and that we should be concerned about.
According to Charon, one of the best solutions to the CCP espionage threat is to reinforce the recruitment of agents, effectively helping the French military quell the many attempts of CCP interference in the country. David Vives, NTD News, Paris.